So here we go. On my screen right now, you can see the CFS Health roadmap. I think it's important to really see the plan and to see what's actually going on. I think when you're going through chronic illness, there's a lot of unknown. And when you're going to a doctor and you're hoping that they can give you an answer, you're usually left more confused and more overwhelmed and just lost. And so I actually think it's so important to have a plan and to have a roadmap. And this is what our clients love the most. I believe that every single month in our program, we have dedicated planning sessions on top of Q&A coaching every single week. And one of my favorite things that I think is so helpful is that we plan the month ahead. But, that's not going to make much sense to you right now if you're not working with us, because it's well, what am I planning for? And so what I want to do today is to break down for you what it looks like on a macro scale. Yeah. So from start to finish, what does recovery actually look like? Yeah. So really there's 5 or 6 key steps here, but recovery starts here. And there's a little light globe here, and it really starts with awareness and a realization of possibility. When people used to come and see me, I would be their last resort. And sometimes still to this day, a lot of people who join our program, it's like they've tried everything and nothing's worked. And then they come across us, and then they see people living their lives and getting their health back and making progress. But really, recovery starts with the awareness and the possibility that it's possible for you. And nothing's going to change until that happens for you. You can kind of sit on the sidelines and wish and hope and maybe even pray that things get better. But until that translates to actually, I've got the awareness in myself, and I now believe that maybe I can improve. Maybe things can get better just a little bit, yeah? And if it's possible for them, it might be possible for me. Now, there's a lot of people who will never be in that. They'll always stay here, and they wish and they hope and they pray, but they don't actually do anything, yeah? They're just waiting for something to happen. And I've said this before, but you can't wait to get better. You've got to start now to get better. Yeah, you can't wait for things to change in order to get better. You need to start now for things to change and get better down the track. I think it's normal. We all go through it. I certainly went through it. Yeah, just praying. And I wasn't even religious. I was please, just can I wake up tomorrow and feel normal? The problem with that was that there was actually no practicality and plan. I wasn't actually doing anything to help myself. Yeah. And so something will happen inside of you, and you'll have this realization and awareness of going, maybe I can get better. And if it's to be, it's up to me. And you kind of realize, well, I need to take control. I need to do something for myself. Some of you might be watching this going, oh yeah, come on, I've heard this all before. Well, you might be hearing it, but you're not applying it if you're not getting progress, if you're not making progress, if you're not moving forwards, if you don't have a plan, if you're kind of going around in circles, if you're self-sabotaging all the time, yeah? And we can get into the science of that. I know a lot of people want to know the science behind it and the nervous system and, the whole body system, the mind-body system, reconditioning your body, improving and boosting your immune system, and all that kind of stuff. And we can talk about that. But ultimately, it's what we do day to day that's going to make the biggest difference and biggest impact. So what happens here, we go from focusing everything on outside of ourselves, we go, it's not possible, we can't do this, to then, you know what? I think it is possible. But rather than focus on something super overwhelming, I'm just going to do what I can do right now. And I'm going to focus on what I can control. And so what happens here, we go to a little bit more dialed focus. And this is kind of what happens when people enroll in our program. We go through a bit of a planning process. We figure out their exact goals, and then we figure out a plan in order to help them with those goals. But usually, typically, and this will look very similar for you as well when you start your recovery, is you will really focus on the fundamentals. And really what this is the controllables. Yeah? And this would look more like, for most of you, especially initially, is understanding and finding your baseline. And you're going to have questions like, yeah, but does this work for fibromyalgia? Does this work for pain? Does this work for symptoms? Yes. When you get healthy, when you improve your health, your symptoms decrease. The problem that most people have is that they keep fighting symptoms. They keep focusing on fixing symptoms when symptoms aren't actually the problem. Your health's the problem. Chronic illness affects every aspect of your life and your health. And so rather than focusing on the problem, we need to focus on the solution. We need to focus on, okay, let's do the opposite of what chronic illness has actually created for us inside our body internally. Okay, let's fix that. Let's get healthy. And as you get healthy, your symptoms decrease, right? But I've never met anyone who's focused on fixing their symptoms who's actually gotten better.